Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic is on kidney function and kidney structure. Two kidneys present in each human body. Right kidney is little below than the left kidney because above the right kidney liver is present. Kidney consists of following parts. Outer part is cortex and second is medulla. Medulla part consists on medullary pyramids. These pyramids are triangular in shape. Usually pyramids varies in number from 8 to 12, but 8 number is most common number in kidney. And third is pelvis, renal pelvis. Pyramids open into the tube-like structure. The name of this tube is calyces. Urine is drained from the apex of the pyramids into the calyces. This is a minor calyces. Minor calyces join to form the major calyx. Now this is the calyx, major calyx. Major calyx open into the renal pelvis. This is renal pelvis. Calyces, calyx, pelvis. Renal pelvis open into the ureter. This is renal pelvis. This is minor calyces and this is major calyx. Minor calyces open into the major calyx. This part is calyx. Calyx open into the pelvis. Pelvis open into the ureter. Ureter open into the urinary bladder. This is pelvis. Pelvis function is to collections of the urine. Pelvis collect the urine. And this is ureter. Ureter open into the urinary bladder. Urinary bladder store the urine and urinary bladder open throughout the body through urethra. In male, urethra is 20 centimeter long, but in female, urethra is 5 centimeter long. But in male, during the age of 50 to 55, urethra attach with the prostate glands. In male, these prostate gland during the age of 45 to 50 start swelling. Due to the swelling of the prostate gland, male difficulty produce during urination at the age of the 45 to 50. So this is the anatomy of the kidney. Outer part is cortex and below the cortex is medulla. Medulla consists on the pyramids. Pyramids open through the apex. Calyces, minor calyces open into the Major calyx. Major calyx open into the renal pelvis. Renal pelvis open into a ureter. Ureter open into a urinary bladder. Urinary bladder open to the urethra. Urethra urine out the body. So how how blood filtration take place in kidney? Now we discuss here. Blood come through the abdominal aorta. Abdominal aorta that carry oxygenated blood. Right abdominal aorta divide into the artery. Right artery go to the right kidney and left artery go toward the left kidney. Aorta, renal artery. These artery divide into the segmental artery. This whole artery wrap the pyramids, but I have draw only one or two for your easiness. So artery divide into the segmental artery. Segmental artery divide into the aortic artery segmental artery divide into cortical artery because this is the cortical colon. This is the cortical colon between the pyramids. So this cortex region. So segmental artery divide into the cortical artery. Now divide into the arcuate artery. Arcuate artery and arcuate artery divide into the interlobular artery. Lobular artery. Lobular artery. So interlobular artery open or divide into the afferent artery. Afferent artery open into the glomerulus. Afferent artery open into the glomerulus. Afferent artery divide into the capillaries. Afferent artery divide into the capillaries and the artery that carry blood out from the glomerulus is called efferent artery. This is the artery which carry blood toward the glomerulus. Glomerulus is also called ball of the capillaries because this is the in ball like shape, and capillary capillaries present in this glomerulus. So arteries that carry blood into the glomerulus is called afferent artery, and artery that carry blood out from the glomerulus is called efferent artery. Efferent. This is efferent. Efferent artery. Efferent arterioles. And this is also arterioles. Afferent arterioles and efferent arterioles. So glomerulus is surrounded by the Bowman capsule. This is called Bowman capsule. Cup-shaped like structure. Bowman capsule. Inside the Bowman capsule is glomerulus, ball of the capillaries. So between the Bowman capsule and the glomerulus, ultrafiltration take place. Filtration of the blood take place here. Bowman capsule surrounded by the cells. This is epithelial cell, squamous cell, form the parietal layer, and the capillaries of the glomerulus is surrounded by the pedicite cell. Capillaries, pedicite cell, podocyte, from the visceral layer. So this is the parietal layer and this is the visceral layer. Bowman capsule from the parietal layer and the glomerulus capillaries from the visceral layer. So between these two layers, ultrafiltration take place. When the blood enters from the aorta to renal arteries to the segmental arteries to the cortical artery to the arcuate artery to the interlobular artery to afferent artery to into the glomerulus. So millions of the glomerulus is present to the kidney. Millions of the glomerulus is present to the kidney. The nephron which present in the cortical region is called cortical nephron or cortical nephron, and the nephron which present near the medulla is called juxtamedullary nephron. So this is the cortical nephron which present in the cortical region. So cortical nephron, two types of the nephron is present in the kidney. Cortical nephron and the nephron which present near the medullary region is called juxtamedullary nephron, and these nephron enter into the tube of this nephron enter into the pyramids. So here ultrafiltration process take place. Blood enter into the capillaries of the glomerulus, and due to the small slits and small space between these podocyte cells, due to the small space, this space is called silts, and these due to these silts, filtration of the blood take place through these silts, and due to the smaller space between these podocyte cells, pressure of the blood pressure generate, and the when blood pressure is generate, blood filtration take place here. Blood filter through these small seals, small space, and enter into the space. This space is called capsule space. And between the Bowman capsule and the glomerulus space is present is called capsule space, and blood enter into this space. Filtration. After filtration from the blood, following things are filtrated, like glucose, amino acid, and salts like sodium, potassium, calcium, bicarbonate, and hydrogen, and mostly important is water. Water is filtrated throughout these capillaries, glomerulus capillaries, during the ultrafiltration process. Pressure generate between these capillaries and the wall of the Bowman capsule. Due to this pressure, blood filtrate glucose, amino acids, glucose, salts, water filtrate through these glomerulus, because the size of these things is smaller. They can easily filtrate, but the protein and the red blood cells, white blood cells, platelet cells cannot filtrate, because their size is bigger than these particles. They enter into the efferent arterioles. The blood after ultrafiltration enter into the efferent arterioles. So now efferent arterioles. Now this is Bowman capsule is divided into proximal convoluted tubules. Proximal convoluted tubule is divided into the large tubule. Large tubule is called loop of Henle. loop of Henle, ascending tubule, descending tubule, loop of Henle, and this is the distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule to the collecting ducts. Collecting ducts open into the minor calyces. Open into the minor calyces. So this is the juxtamedullary nephron. Loop of Henle is larger than the cortical nephron. Juxtamedullary nephron is work during water preservation. When our body need water, juxtamedullary nephron work. And urine formation, cortical nephron work. So Bowman capsule. After Bowman capsule is proximal convoluted tubule. Proximal convoluted tubules. And proximal convoluted tubule, descending tube, and loop of Henle, ascending tube, descending that come inward, and ascending that come upward. Ascending tube and distal convoluted tubule to the collecting ducts into the calyces. So all these waste. No, this is not waste. This is filtrate. In these tubules, these filtrate selective reabsorption take place through these tubules. So these particles enter into these tubules, and these efferent arterioles divide into the peritubular capillaries. Divide into the peritubular capillaries. Now this is called peritubular capillaries. Efferent arterioles divide into the capillaries here. This capillaries. When blood come through the glomerulus to the efferent arterioles totally wrap these tubules. Here selective reabsorption take place from tubules into the capillaries. These important things can be reabsorbed again into the blood, like water. One glomerulus in a man in our day, 180 liter filtrate in a single day in a man. and after glomerulus water is reabsorbed into this blood. One, one, 170 liter water is absorbed into these capillaries, and only 2 liter 2 liter urine is filtrate out through the urinary bladder. So selective reabsorption take place in these capillaries. 170 liter water is absorbed into these through these capillaries into the afferent arterioles, and glucose is also reabsorbed, amino acid also reabsorbed, because glucose amino acids without these protein cannot made. So this is important. Also absorbed, water is absorbed because body need water, and some other important salts like sodium also absorbed. When blood pressure is low in the body, sodium is absorbed. And after the selective reabsorption, like glucose, amino acid and the water and the sodium, when body blood pressure is low, sodium, so these things, these materials, particles again reabsorbed into the blood. So at the end, in the collecting ducts, only 2 liter urine is remained. 2 liter urine is made. So urine enter from the collecting ducts into the calyces, minor calyces into the major calyces into the renal pelvis, and renal pelvis into the ureter into the urinary bladder into the urethra, and throughout the body. And these important things that need our body enter into the blood, and these afferent artery now enter into the cortical cortical veins. This is vein that carry deoxygenated blood. This cortical vein enter into the aorta, arcuate. Cortical artery enter into the arcuate. Cortical enter into the arcuate veins. Enter into the again cortical vein enter into the segmental vein change into the renal vein. This is renal vein carry these deoxygenated blood into the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava enter into the heart for again oxygenated of the blood. So this is the function of the kidney. Deoxygenated blood enter into the inferior vena cava after the ultrafiltration. And the urine is 2 liter urine is formed after the selective reabsorption through the tubular nephron, enter into the renal pelvis to the bladder and throughout the body urethra. So this is the function of the kidney and structure of the kidney. Again I revise. This is the cortical region. The nephrons which present in cortical region is called cortical nephron. Two types of the nephron. The nephron which present near the pyramids is called medullary pyramids, is called juxtamedullary nephron, because it junction with the pyramids. So, and the blood enter through the aorta into the arteries into the segmental into the cortical into the arcuate into the interlobular into the afferent into the glomerulus. After ultrafiltration, blood enter into the efferent into the peritubular capillaries into the again. This is cortical veins into the arcuate veins into the cortical vein to the renal vein to the inferior vena cava to the heart, inferior vena cava to the heart. So this is the process of the urine formation and blood filtration. Blood filtration take place here. This process is called ultrafiltration between the glomerulus ball of the capillaries and the Bowman capsule cup-shaped structure. Due to the small space between these capillaries tubes, capillaries cells, this podocyte cell between the small space is called sills, filtrate sills, that generate pressure. When pressure is generate, urine filtrate out the wall of the capillaries. Capillaries have small holes, though larger particles cannot filtrate, like red blood cell, white blood cells, platelet cells cannot filtrate. They enter again into the efferent arteries, but the small particles can easily filtrate throughout, like glucose, amino acids, salts like sodium, potassium, calcium, bicarbonate, hydrogen, filtrate easily through this wall of the glomerulus, and water is also filtrate. And 180 liter a day, a man 180 liter a day glomerulus filtrate. When these particles enter into the proximal convoluted tubules to the loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubules, collecting duct into the calyces to the calyx to the renal pelvis. So, and efferent arteries wrap these tubules. Here selective reabsorption again take place, because our body need water and amino acids and glucose and some salts that need like sodium need when our blood pressure is low in our body, then sodium is need our body, then they selectively reabsorbed into these through these capillaries. So blood, these tubules, convoluted tubules, lobe of Henle made concentrated urine from 180 to 2 liter, 180 liter to 2 liter concentrated urine is formed at the end, and these 2 liter urine is passed through out our body through urethra. So after filtration through the peritubular capillaries, blood enter into the vein system. Blood come through the artery system. After the selective reabsorption, and blood enter throughout the kidney vein system, because now blood become deoxygenated. Blood need oxygen, so these deoxygenated blood enter into the heart through inferior vena cava, because inferior vena cava take blood from our lower body parts. So this is the function of the kidney. Most easy concept, in easy way I have explained. Two types of the nephron I have explained. Nephron which present at the cortical region is called cortical nephron, and nephron which present near the medulla region, because this is medullary pyramids. Near the medullary region is called juxtamedullary nephron. This nephron is juxtamedullary nephron. Juxtamedullary nephron is used for water reabsorption and is function for making concentrated urine. So their tubules is long as compared to the cortical nephron. So I have forget one things. When blood enter through the aorta into the renal arteries, this kidney make the hollow structure. We name this renal cyanosis. Inside the renal cyanosis, renal pelvis is present. This is hilum of the kidney. Hilum, Hilum, hilum of the kidney. Through the hilum of the kidney, arteries, veins, lymphatic system, and nerves can enter through the hilum of the kidney and enter into the renal sinuses. This is renal sinuses. What is this? Renal sinuses. Sinus. Renal sinus. Renal sinus collect the arteries and pass through out the kidney, veins, and lymphatic system collect into the renal sinus, and the nerves and the arteries collect into the renal sinuses and veins. So this is called renal sinuses that collect arteries, lymphatic system, nerves, and the blood, veins, and the pelvis. Not mix renal pelvis and renal sinuses. Renal pelvis present above the renal sinus. Renal pelvis collect the urine through the calyx. Minor calyces and major calyx collect the urine through the nephrons. Renal pelvis collect the urine And renal sinus collect the arteries, lymphatic system, nerves, veins. So not mix these two 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 parts in the kidney, renal pelvis and renal sinus. Renal pelvis collect urine through the renal pyramids, and renal sinuses collect arteries, veins from the body. Okay, so this is the two difference between the renal pelvis and the renal sinus. Okay, renal sinus attach with our body things, and renal pelvis attach with the kidney. Renal pelvis connection with the kidney nephrons, and renal pelvis connection with our arteries, veins, capillaries, arteries, veins, and our lymphatics, veins, and the nerves, anything. So if I have forget one things. This is our kidney. Kidney is uppermost layer. Kidney is called renal capsule. This is thick and fabric tissue, made up of the fabric tissue and made up of the protein, collagen protein. This outermost layer made up of the collagen protein is a tough protein that surround the kidney. This layer is called renal capsule, and this layer is also consist the pain receptor. Notice here, pain receptor. Students, this renal capsule is a tough layer made up of the tough protein, collagen protein, and it also consists on the pain receptor. Name of this pain receptor is nociceptors. Okay, nociceptors. What function of this pain receptor? If in our kidney stone is formed, like in ureter, stone is formed in the ureter, a pain is produced. This pain is called colic pain. In the ureter of the kidney, if stone is formed, a pain is generated in our backbone, backside of the abdominal cavity. This colic pain is sensed through these nociceptors, sensed through these pain receptor that present outermost of the kidney. This pain is sensed through these pain receptor, nociceptors. If we punch our backside, if anyone punch our backside, we feel pain because kidney present behind the abdominal cavity. We feel pain due to this pain receptor, nociceptors. Students, one is most and last layers, important layer is present outside of the kidney. This is made up of the adipose tissue. And This is thick layer, adipose tissue. We name this renal adipose layer, a nephric adipose layer. This layer prevent from the abdominal injury of the kidney, internal injury of the kidney from the ribs or from the abdominal injury. This adipose layer protect kidney from the injury. So adipose tissue layer, renal capsule, cortex, medulla, and pelvis. Okay. Hilum, through the hilum, arteries, veins, lymphatic system, nerves enter through the hilum of the kidney. Hilum, sinus, these all things collect in the sinus of the kidney. Renal sinus, sinus to the cortical artery, into the arcuate artery, into the interlobular afferent and glomerulus, into efferent, into the peritubular capillaries, into the cortical arteries, into the arcuate veins and cortical veins and the segmental veins, into the renal veins and into the inferior vena cava. In the kidney, this is the Bowman capsule, proximal convoluted tubule, lobe of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and collecting ducts. Proximal convoluted tubule, lobe, this lobe. This tube also make a lobe of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule, and this is collecting duct that collect at the end of the concentrated urine and into the calyces. Minor calyces, renal pyramids, open into minor calyces, into major calyx, into the pelvis, into ureter to the urinary bladder, and to urethra to the throughout the body. So this is kidney structure and function. In a single lecture I have explained. So again and again seen this video for clear concept. Hope you like and share. Bye. Allah Hafiz.